Okay, the next element is learning objectives or learning outcomes. But here we should understand one thing: objectives, outcomes are different, have different meanings. Okay, so we know that in everyday language, as in education, terms such as aim, purpose, outcome, goal, and objective are often used interchangeably. In training and education, these terms have more specific meaning. For example, aim and purpose are terms used to describe the most general intentions of a program or course. This can be usually stated in one or two sentences. This is an example. For example, in a hospitality industry, we can say the purpose statement for a baking program might say, this program prepares students for employment in the hospitality industry. But the term learning outcomes is often defined as a general statement that summarizes and integrates the learning achieved in several related goals or objectives by the end of a program or course. The term describes what a learner may get out of at the end of the program, at the end of the course. In many instances, we use that also at the end of a lesson. But for the lesson, we should understand the difference between an objective. An objective is to achieve the outcomes of a specific course or a specific chapter and so on. The term describes what a learner may get out of a program or course. For example, one or several learning outcomes for a baking program might say, this program provides learners with opportunities to develop their knowledge, skills, and attitude related to preparing a variety of desserts required in fine dining restaurants and in major hotels and convention centers. So this may be the overall outcome of a specific program, a specific course. So the goal is the term used to describe more specific but still general intentions of a program or a course. For example, one goal statement in fish making course might say, by the end of this course, learners will prepare several different common types of fish. So this is broader because we have different types of fish and the different ways of preparing fish. So here is not specific. The statement is more general. We have different types of fish like a salmon, tuna, rainbow, mackerel, and so on. So the term objectives are more specific statement of learning related to a goal, even an outcome. For example, one objective or several objectives related to prepare several different common types of fish goal might include the phrase fried with masala spice fish, for example. Okay, masala is a spice that can be used. So the objectives are generally more suited to topics or situations where there are correct ways of doing things. Evaluation is related to the application of some standards, and the result of instruction are homogeneous and or predictable. So there we have the words objective can be used. While a course may have a few broad general goals and a limited number of learning outcomes, individual lessons usually focus on one or more specific learning objectives to reach those goals or outcomes. A mini lesson, for example, that you are busy with in this module number 3, lesson will normally encompasses one objective because it's a 10-minute lesson. So you can't put more than one objective, otherwise it will go beyond 10 minutes. So an instructional learning or performance objective is a statement that specifies in some observable or measurable way what a learner will know or do by the end of a lesson or a series of lessons. Well-defined objectives are concise, precise, and contain the following elements. First, performance. So the performance should be well specified in the learning objectives. The condition, under which condition this performance will be demonstrated, and the criteria, and what are the specification for mastery, that is how well it is measured, and so on. So here we have some examples or criteria that we need to consider when we are writing a learning objectives. So the learning objective is a written sentence that include the who. So this, most of the time, these are learners, and will do what. So we need to say what they will be able to do at the end of the lesson, and we need to specify the condition and how well this will be done. So these are the standard and the criteria. So a learning objective with these 4 elements is really a very well stated learning objectives, and students will be able, when they are doing self-evaluation, to evaluate if all these elements are well featured in their own qualities after going through a lesson. So here we have an example that shows that a student needs to develop, for example, or to know all the 6 elements of the cognitive domain of Bloom taxonomy. So who is the target? The target is the learner, and what the learner should be able to do. So this is to list the element of the cognitive domain in Bloom taxonomy, and under what conditions the student should demonstrate the knowledge through an oral quiz. This is a question you can ask in class, and how well all 6 correctly and in the proper order. So this is what we want. We don't want students to mix starting with evaluation and ending with remember. We want students to do that in a proper order, and this is the criteria, this is the standard we are looking for.